Hi everyone, and warm welcome to another video podcast of The Books Don't Lie. My name is Amit and I'm back with another riveting book, a book which surely promises to change your life, your perspective, your way of life, and a lot more things. I'm talking about a book called The Courage to be Disliked. Let me tell you 5 interesting facts, the 5 unbelievable information from this particular book. And this book is surely going to give you 5 difficult questions which you should ask and must ask if you want to have a meaningful life. Let's begin. Now, the first thing first I want to talk about is a question. So, when was the last time you drank a water from a well? I know the answer is difficult. The answer may require a lot of flashback. But let me tell you a story. Did you ever try to find out the temperature of a well water? No, let me explain that. The temperature of a well water kind of remains constant at 18 degrees Celsius. All right. But the same water temperature, let's say if you drink a water from well in summertime, that simply 18 degrees Celsius feels cold and soothing. On the contrary, as soon as the weather changes, the same well water changes its overall nature, and that 18 degrees Celsius kind of feels like lukewarm when you drink in winter. So the moral of the story is this: whether you want to change or not, if you see the life cycle, the only thing which remains constant in life for progress is change. If you're not going to change, you're not going to success, you're not going to have accolades, you're not going to have greatest asset in your lives if you don't wish to change. So brace the change is good for you. Point number 2, it talks about a very important point, and I'm sure a lot of you will definitely kind of ask me a question, and the question is, more often than not, your anger, my anger, your anger is manufactured. Nobody feels temperamental by nature. Nobody is temperamental by nature. Nobody comes with, let's say, unique temperament wherein he or she is going to be angry all the time. We as human beings use anger as a medium of supremacy. I know you have a question. Let me explain. Let's imagine a situation, you and your brother, or probably a sister and a brother, doing a fight, or probably gone down for a fight in a home, and they are fighting it absolutely kind of in a bizarre manner. They are screaming, yelling, and shouting, and out of nowhere the phone bell rings, and the phone is indeed from the parent. Let's say a phone call is from a mom. The moment you pick up a phone and you realize that your elders are speaking to you, your tone, what you used to carry initially with high volume screaming and shouting, will change to a mellow voice, and you may start speaking with a lot of mannerism, nice and decent tone and attitude. But as soon as you put down the phone, right, is there a guarantee that you are able to retain the same tone which you were doing or kind of using with your brother, and so-called for sister with a brother, and for brother with a sister? The moral of the story is no, you cannot. Anger is something which we use purposely. We want to be angry because we want to achieve and showcase that we are supreme and supremacy. So do remember, anger will not come to you kind of genuinely or something which comes to you naturally, unless until you have a very tragic moment in your life. We as human beings use anger as one of our weapons. A parent uses an anger in front of a kid to showcase that he is the master and they have to obey. A boss uses an anger to make the job done. So anger is always manufactured. It will never come to you kind of naturally. Think about it. Point number 3. Admitting to fault is gold. I'm sure you guys would really want to have an explanation, and I think I have a great one. I'm sure we all talked about and heard about Monica Lewinsky versus Bill Clinton case drama. I'm sure you all remember that drama, isn't it? So the Bill Clinton, so-called the most iconic and one of the individuals who had a great success in American politics, when he stood for president, got the election. But after some time, he had to withdraw his application and he had to resign, seeking a public apology when one of her counterparts, so-called Monica Lewinsky, alleged him publicly that he was the one who did not do the right code of conduct when they were together in so-called the White House. The same individual got a lot of bashing, a lot of criticism, negativity from the public, and probably he had to let his profile go. But the individual, Bill Clinton, had the audacity to come in a public or a press conference and publicly acclaimed or claimed that yes, he was guilty when he and the girl Monica Lewinsky were working in a White House. Now the moral of the story is, I don't think everybody has the gut or even the audacity to go in public and say, you know what, I'm wrong. Can you accept your fault in public? Can you go on a podium in front of 1,000 people and say, you know what, I made a mistake? Can you do that? If you can do that, thumbs up. So admitting your fault is one of the few critical principles which we as a human being never ever accept, and we must accept because that makes you human. Point number 4, which primarily talks about what is the definition of freedom. And I would like to read a sentence for you. It says, the freedom is being disliked by other people. Do you have the courage? Do you have the guts? Do you have the audacity to remain as it is and not shout and yell and scream when you know that the other counterpart who's sitting next to you and next to me is kind of disliking me? It is a true freedom. When you are being, let's say, disliked, you have no pressure. When you are being neglected, ignored, more often than not, you have no pressure. A pressure of performance, a pressure of meeting expectations, a pressure of earning money, a pressure of competition between two individuals in any community, corporate or even a family, can definitely take away your freedom. When people start disliking you, when people start not really caring about you, that is the stage where you are truly free as a human being. And according to me, that is what real freedom is. That you got nobody to answer. Think about it. Last but not the least, one of the most important points which I think should be used more often than not. The author talks about a concept called affirmative resignation. In a nutshell, it talks about self-realization or self-acceptance. Let me explain that to you. Whatever you are, whether you are a big shot or somebody who has not got success in life, whether you do not have the finest look or may look ugly, you do not have the right paycheck or a poor paycheck, do you have the courage, do you have the audacity, do you have the feeling, or do you have the mindset to accept yourself and probably love yourself the way you are? That is known as self-acceptance, in other words, and as per the words of the book, it talks about affirmation, resignation. Can you accept yourself? Can you love yourself? Can you find soothing effect accepting whoever you are, whether you are a multi-billionaire or an absolute broke? Can you love yourself? Thank you so much. This is what I thought of sharing with all of you, and I hope you like the concept. If you have any questions, ask to me, subscribe, and let me know if you want to see more books like this. You take care.